Good morning, conference. I hope you all had a good evening last night, although not too good. I hope you're all feeling bright and breezy this morning because guess what? It's 2024 and it's an election year, the big election year. And isn't it great? The Tories can get into the election with a proud record to stand on. 40 brand new hospitals, a valued and appreciated workforce, NHS pay rises beyond your wildest dreams, fast appointments and waiting lists shorter than a prescription. Conference, if only. What we were promised is not at all what was delivered. The reality is a lot more painful. Crumbling hospital estates, outdated equipment, appalling waiting lists, and NHS staff at their wits' end having to fight for their livelihoods. Investment drained for 14 years, capacity tumbling and workforce stress ratcheting up. Is it any wonder that 3 in 10 NHS workers in the past year have had to take time off due to mental health issues? The pressures on all of you are immense. You've got to care for more patients with less time and less staff. And UNISON has also found, this survey that we did, that some of you have been shown pornography, that you've been offered sex for money, that you've been had to put up with degrading remarks, degrading comments, and some of you have even experienced sexual assault. No one should have to endure such appalling, despicable behaviour, especially in your workplace. And UNISON is demanding that the time has come for NHS employers to actually take this seriously. Because that's what UNISON is about. Standing up for you, standing by you, backing you up, fighting your corner. You're not alone in UNISON. We've been there with you through every day of the Tory chaos in the NHS, bringing your campaigns alive, helping to drive your disputes, and right by your side when you faced abuse and poor practice. Your service group has led the way on this, and I want to say a huge thank you to Wilma, Maura and Tanya for the leadership that you've shown, and to everyone on the service group executive for the work that they put in all year. And your health officers, the staff in UNISON's regions and at headquarters are always hard at work. Together, our mission is to make your life better, your working life better, and to defend the NHS from being driven into complete rack and ruin. So thank you to Helga Pyle, Sarah Gorton and all of the health team at head office and in the regions. But my biggest thank you, of course, goes to everyone here. But it's UNISON's activists and lay leaders that actually drive our union in every workplace across the UK. And UNISON's One Team Awards is just one way that we recognise and celebrate some of our members. The award honours the work of NHS support staff, and this year congratulations go to Julie McKee, Bissiriu Bello and Donna Stewart. Can I say thank you to them? And of course, thank you to everyone here. You are your best advocates. All we do is help you find your voices. And it's your voices that have decided our priorities for pay this year. Our demands make sense. They're within our grasp. A proper pay rise above inflation that actually tackles low pay. We're also demanding the right banding for the work that you do, for the work that everyone does, and a commitment to a shorter working week without loss of pay, not outrageous demands. Together, conference, we've put a stake in the ground and we're preparing for our next battle. And the Tories have learnt no lessons from the past. Government ministers in Westminster have let us all down again and again. Your pay increase, yet again, is overdue. And you know what, conference? So is their time to leave power. And this year we can get them out. They may leave the earth scorched behind them, They may torch public services in their wake, but this is the year we can get them out, so that a Labour government can rebuild our NHS and all of our public services. With Labour in power, we will be part of the conversation about the future of our public services. It won't always be easy. I'm pretty certain we won't always agree with them, but UNISON doesn't shy away from the difficult. The trade unionism that runs through our blood is about forcing those difficult conversations, getting people round the table, hammering out a deal. But right now, with the Tories in Westminster, we're stuck in a game with deceitful and incompetent opponents. So UNISON will be doing everything in our power to get them out, to put an end to Tory failure, chaos and corruption. And Conference, what power we have. Look at all you've achieved in the past 12 months. 42 rebanding claims and deals done across England and Scotland in our Pay Fair for Patient Care campaign. £70 million in back pay and rising. A huge strike in Northern Ireland, a very cold 24 hours in Northern Ireland, that forced politicians back into the Northern Ireland Assembly to sort out public sector pay. That's the power of UNISON. We've got live disputes running in South East, Eastern, East Midlands, Northern, North West, South West and our London region. Live campaigns running in Yorkshire and Humberside, West Midlands and Cymru Wales are also pushing for a shorter working week. Health workers in Scotland threatened industrial action last year and got a higher pay offer and a commitment to a shorter working week. That's the power of UNISON. And out on strike today, our colleagues in North and South Tees, and later this week, our members are out in Leicestershire. So let's give them a huge round of applause. These ballots have been getting huge turnouts. We've shown that we can smash the anti-trade union laws in this country. And you've encouraged hundreds of new campaign contacts. And that's not just great news for our campaigns, that's great news for every part of our region, of our union, because they're starting their activist journey in our union into many other parts, whether that's in branches, in regions, or indeed in our self-organised groups, ready to help UNISON's wider campaigns, like the ones we'll be running this year in the year of LGBT+ workers. As politicians seek to weaponise the issues of trans and LGBT+ rights during their election battles, and we've all seen it, we've all heard the appalling language they use, we will stand united against all forms of homophobia, racism and transphobia. Conference, we are a union on the rise. I'm delighted to say that in the 3 years that I've been your General Secretary, UNISON has seen 3 consecutive years of growth. So far, in this year alone, the first quarter, we've had net growth of 13,000 members. That's what getting on with the job looks like. That's what leadership is about. It's not about blaming others or making excuses. It's about putting in the work and making change. And that's what the leadership of the Health Service Group Executive has shown. That's the leadership that you all show every single day in your branches, because that growth is down to the work that you do in your branches, the image you present, the work that you do for members. You've all been united, and when we're united, UNISON is at its strongest. When we are on the rise, we can do great things, and we do great things, like our campaign for a national care service. Because we all know, you don't need me to tell you this in this room, until we fix the crisis in social care, we cannot fix the crisis in the NHS. While the Tories break promises and let down the most vulnerable in our society, UNISON says we can do better. Older people who need care have spent their lives working and contributing to this country. The least they can expect is decent care for the final part of their lives. And the workforce that we entrust to look after them should be able to expect a decent day's pay for the work that they do. MPs and candidates have been signing up to our pledge to create a national care service, and it's UNISON that's made that happen. We're the union that's been pushing for this with the Labour Party. And when that national care service is created, and I do believe it will be, we can look back together and say, we did that. We were part of making that happen. That's history, that's the power of UNISON. Conference yesterday, through the PSI video and hearing from Richard from MAP and his powerful speech, we heard the voices of healthcare workers in Gaza. Richard was right when he said there are no words to describe the horror. I can't remember a time in my life when the world felt more full of pain and suffering. But I'm proud of UNISON's policy on peace in the Middle East and a two-state solution for Israel and Palestine. UNISON is united in our calls for peace. We're focused on supporting organisations like MAP and on influencing politicians who have the power to adopt our position. But seriously, how much more evidence do Rishi Sunak and other politicians in this country need to stand up and say, stop the bloodshed now, end supplying arms to Israel, and have an immediate ceasefire now? Conference, my favourite part of being your General Secretary is being out in so many branches and meeting so many of our members. Whether it's some of the things I've done in the past year, visit an ambulance call centre in Nottingham, or join the picket line for HCAs in the Wirral, joining the midnight walkout at the start of the strike at the Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast, or visiting the furthest away branches that we have in the Orkney and Shetland Isles, as I did just a few weeks ago. And I want to say thank you to those branches for their kindness and hospitality when I visited there. Because it's hearing from you and about the jobs that you do, the issues that matter most to you and your members, that drives me. And as we build for our next battle, I'll be out meeting more of you. I'll be coming round to meet regions and branches. But before then, I have to say there's an important date for you. 22nd of April. That's the date that the ballot opens for our service group elections. You can either use your electronic ballot or you can use a postal ballot. And I'm asking you all, please use that vote. Please make sure you return your vote. And when you get back to your workplaces, just think what a difference it could make in these elections if you could get another 10 people in your workplace to make sure they vote in these elections and send them back. Because it's your choice who gets to make the important decisions on running national campaigns, deciding on national pay consultations, strike ballots and days of action. And Conference, like you, I listened with pride and awe to the speakers in the debate yesterday about healthcare assistance. And what makes these local campaigns so important and successful is that they are run by the healthcare assistants themselves. Of course, branches and staff are helping, but the decisions are taken by the people who are most affected. This is the power of UNISON, giving a voice to and power to our members. This is what lay-led means, where every member matters. And in the NHS, that's about the one team for patient care. No matter what your job is in the NHS, your role is vital. UNISON knows that, and it's our job to make sure everybody else knows that. I heard somebody say it yesterday, and I know I've certainly said it before, but it's worth saying again. There is no such thing as I'm only a, in the NHS. Everybody's job is important. Everybody's job matters. And during my 30 years as a negotiator in UNISON, one of the things I've always thought is, who's not at the table? Whose voice is missing from these talks? And that's what I think UNISON does. We put you at the table. We put our members at the table to take the important decisions. You've come up with the campaigns and UNISON has backed you. And we will build on the Fair Pay for Patient Care campaign. From the healthcare assistants and the brilliant jobs they're doing at the moment, to administrators, phlebotomists, call handlers, anyone not getting paid the right rate for the job. So as we move on after this to celebrate the successes of hundreds of thousands of healthcare assistants, today, conference, believe me when I say to you, I hope this time next year, that can be you celebrating your campaigns and your successes. Thank you. Thank you. Conference, when I... Thank you. I'm not going to wait because I want you to do more of this, but I'm doing it because we're actually moving on to something else, and I wanted to say we're moving on now to actually celebrate those campaigns, and I want to invite Helga to come down, and I don't know if and Wilma is going to come down as well, and they're going to be giving you the chance, giving us all the chance to thank everyone who's been involved in these campaigns. But thank you so much for that applause and for that welcome. Thank you again.